Today is January 17th, and history has a way of stacking contrasts on the same date. A constitutional ban that tried to eliminate alcohol and helped fuel organized crime. A gangster born into the era that would make him infamous. A global sports icon born decades later, whose impact reached far beyond the ring. And in 1991, a new kind of modern war began in the skies over Iraq. This is history in context, and here's what happened on this day. On January 17, 1920, the 18th Amendment took effect, launching nationwide prohibition in the United States. It didn't start as a sudden cultural mood swing. It was the result of decades of temperance politics, lobbying, and moral reform movements that argued alcohol was destroying families and public order. But banning alcohol in law didn't erase alcohol in life. Enforcement depended on the National Prohibition Act, better known as the Volstead Act, which defined what counted as intoxicating and laid out how prohibition would be enforced. Almost immediately, a new economy emerged in the shadows: bootlegging, smuggling, and speakeasies, illegal bars hidden behind unmarked doors. Prohibition was meant to reduce harm, but it also created something else: a massive black market, one that rewarded people willing to break the rules. And on this same date, January 17, 1899, Al Capone was born in Brooklyn, New York. Capone would become the most recognizable face of the Prohibition era, not because Prohibition created crime, but because it created a market big enough to industrialize it. When alcohol became illegal, demand didn't vanish, it migrated. Capone's later rise in Chicago turned bootlegging into a business, protected by corruption, enforced by violence, and fueled by the simple fact that millions of people still wanted a drink. This is one of history's recurring lessons. When policy collides with human behavior, the gap between them becomes a battlefield, and someone always profits from the gap. January 17th also marks the birth of Muhammad Ali, born January 17, 1942, in Louisville, Kentucky. Ali wasn't only a champion in sport, he became a defining figure in American culture and public life, known for his voice, his convictions, and his ability to turn interviews into history of their own. Some people change a record book, others change the conversation. Ali did both. And on January 17, 1991, the combat phase of the Gulf War, Operation Desert Storm, began with a major coalition air campaign targeting Iraqi military and government sites. The goal was to force Iraq to end its occupation of Kuwait, which had begun with Iraq's invasion in 1990. A quick note on the calendar. Depending on time zones, some coverage in the United States remembered the start as January 16th, because the first strikes occurred in the early hours of January 17th local time in Iraq. Desert Storm signaled a new era of televised warfare, precision weapons, round-the-clock coverage, and a global coalition operating at a scale the world hadn't seen in decades. So on January 17th, we see a pattern across a century: laws that reshape society, individuals who symbolize an era, and wars that redefine the modern world. If you want daily history with context, not just trivia, subscribe to History in Context. And tell me in the comments, was Prohibition doomed from the start, or could it ever have worked?